morning, and welcome to this fourth edition of Data Friday. I'm really excited today to be with you and share a little bit more about data. So today we are celebrating something really cool. This week, a group of techies, entrepreneurs, high-level exec in the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill area, the Triangle, has been officially granted to be part of La French Tech. And La French Tech is the national program in France to ease startups, mix technologies, develop communities around the world based on this idea. And prior to our chapter, we had other La French Tech in other places in the U.S. like New York, Houston, Austin, Los Angeles, San Francisco, of course. And as of this year, we are having our events as well in Miami and in Raleigh-Durham, of course. So you can join us on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/French Tech Rally. Okay, that's fairly easy. Okay, linkedin.com/company/French Tech Rally. Okay, so enough advertisement. Let's talk data. And today we are continuing a little bit on the idea of exploring metadata, and especially around metadata you can find in photos. So let me just quickly explain that a little bit. Okay, so let me share my iPad screen. Sharing. Up. There is an order to things. So first, stop sharing. Sorry about that. Then I'm sharing the content of my iPad. Okay. So, here, you should see my iPad. So basically, when you look at a picture, okay, so pictures are really interesting. So let's imagine a picture. Let's take, let's take a picture of dogs. Okay, so I've got my dog. It's probably going to look more like a cat. Yeah, maybe. Okay. That's the mouse now. Okay, well, you're not here for my drawing skills anyway. Okay, so you've got a photo of a dog. Okay, so with AI these days you can recognize that this is a dog, or actually AI will never recognize that as a dog because it's not looking like a dog. So AI can say, hey, it's a dog. But what would be the first step of what is interesting is to extract metadata. Okay, so typically, you know that as we are now all using digital pictures, when you look at a picture, you see its file size, you see the file date of creation, you see the file name, etc. Okay, but as part of metadata that your camera is taking, it already adds a lot of metadata to your picture. And depending on the format, it does different name, but most of the cameras are actually shooting in JPEG, and JPEG, the metadata format is called EXIF. So when you look at what you can do with EXIF, okay, so I can extract data which are EXIF data. EXIF data, technically they're more like metadata, okay, metadata. And you can find things like the shooting date, and time, date and time. Okay, you can see the GPS coordinate if your camera is linked to a GPS, which is the case with a lot of smartphones these days. And you can find other technical information that we're going to explore right now. Okay, so this is something that can actually be very useful, and a little bit of, as well. You will see a little bit of tricky as well. So let's switch back to my Mac. Okay, and I will start by showing you my example I worked on for us today, which is in GitHub, and I'll share the GitHub link. Okay, so here is the example. Let's run it first. Okay, so I'm going to analyze this picture. Okay, so speaking of a picture of dog, okay, this is a picture of this is Obelix, and you've got another dog, of course. It's a big picture. This is a picture of Cleo, who's they're both kind of sleepy. Okay, whatever. If I'm running my application now, what is going to happen? You see that a lot of information is being displayed here. So if we look in a bit of details of what is going on, you see things like groups here. We will call that directory in this context. And then you've got key value pairs. Okay, that's a key, that's a value. And so here is a JPEG. So you can see things like the image 8, okay, and the image width. You see it's a square picture here. And you can see also the resolution, okay, in dot per inch. JPEG allows you also to integrate images within images, so you can actually integrate the thumbnail directly there. And you see a lot of other information like okay, it's Apple is the make of the camera, the model is an iPhone XS Max, the resolution is what I said before, the software is 13.1.1. And that was at the time of shooting. That means that my iPhone right now is probably a bit more updated. You see the original date time of the shooting. Okay, this is really important. This is bundled in the picture itself. And you see plenty of other information, including the color profile, including what I was looking for, the GPS block as a GPS director. So you see a lot of information that is actually not linked to your camera, but linked to the phone when you were doing it. Okay, so for example, you've got the latitude, the longitude. You see the altitude from the sea level, etc., etc. Okay, and you continue. You see also the file name. Okay, but what an interesting thing is in the file name, you see that the date on the file name is yesterday, as I was finalizing this example, and this is what could be actually happening when you're dealing with pictures. Okay, you're sending pictures away, you're getting pictures back from friends. Well, the thing is, the date on the file is probably not going to be the right one. Okay, it changes. So this is where it's kind of really useful to rely on the date and time of where the picture was shot. Okay, and you see it here. The time where it was shot and the time where it was digitized. Okay, and of course you can add your own your own comments, your own block in EXIF. So that's a pretty useful thing, and you can start doing some analytics if you have got more photos, but that's coming later. Okay, So let's look at the code. So I use a library called Metadata from com.drew metadata. You can see it here in the import section. Okay, and it's very simple. The first thing is you're going, well, start. The first thing is you're going to analyze to get the directories. Okay, as I said, you've got the main thing is the directories. So you're extracting and you're getting the directories here. You're looping on them, and then you can look at every tag, and you can actually look at the tag itself. Okay, so that's how it works. It's very, very easy. Of course, you can have some exceptions, and you and that's basically it. Okay, so if I say you start, you specify your file, you extract the metadata from the file, and then you loop on the directories, and you can loop on the tags. Okay, that's a really simple example. You'll find that in the repository. And so if I change, you see I've got another picture, which is a similar one. If I go here, if I just specify a different file, you would imagine that the data is going to be slightly different. Run it, and you see that at the very beginning, yeah, you see my picture is smaller. It's a 1024, and you see that this file size is also smaller, and it's not exactly the same file name as you would imagine. So that's concluding today's very easy introduction to EXIF metadata. One word of caution when you're doing this kind of things is, as you can see here, I add, well, not in you have it in this one. You've got the the coordinates. Okay, and if I just type these coordinates and go to Google Maps, you will find where the picture was taken. So you type in the coordinates, and there's plenty of other services where you can find the address and things like that from the coordinates. So, and of course, that's the benefit of a live demo. Let me restart that. Okay, live demo syndrome. I've got my Google. If I go to Google Maps, now I'm going back to my code. If I'm taking this and typing in north, going back, taking this, you don't need the minus here because you're specifying it this way with west, type it in, and you directly see where the pictures was taken. Okay, so that's kind of a neat feature. So that's how a lot of pictures are positioned, but it's also may have some kind of privacy concern as well. Okay, so that's a thing to be concerned about when you're sharing pictures. You may want to be cautious of that. Well, anyway, that's concluding today's Data Friday. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, see you next Friday.